y'all, Grolo here. You never know how much you appreciate something until it's gone. I'm so excited for another ISC. I have missed these tremendously since CIG went on break last year. I'm so pumped. I mean, there is so much to talk about in Star Citizen right now. There's so much going on all of a sudden after that kind of lull, quietness with the 4.5 launch, and, you know, things were a little bit rocky and CIG was on break, but they're coming back. There was a flurry of things. We just had the crafting test, which there's a ton of content on. I got a lot of thoughts on crafting. We might get into a little bit here, but I'm thinking the next video I'm going to dedicate to crafting because I just got a lot to say on that topic. This one I just want to kind of get caught up. We just got a really big monthly report, the first one of 2026, which also encompasses 2 months of last year. We're not going to go through it with a fine-tooth comb, but we are going to pick out the important bits to talk about in it. So we're going to skim through it, talk about what's important, and then I want to check out the ISC that just dropped today together. I have not seen it yet, so we'll watch it together and see what's up in that, and then we'll kind of see where we go from there. First, let's dig into the PU monthly report. First monthly report of 2026. As usual, we're starting by looking back at the final 2 months of the outgoing year. Finalized features progressed with content for Alpha 4.5, 4.6, and beyond. AI content. This section they talk about with the addition of Nix, they had to go back through and kind of repolish the NPC behaviors for Nix. That all makes sense. In the AI tech and feature section, they made a lot of improvements to the Valacar, improving the ability to utilize submerged positions while avoiding hills. They unrotted the chase target behavior and removed movement hearing filter concept. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but the Valacar can also now attack inanimate objects. Furthermore, new placeholder behaviors were implemented and further developed. As I read through this, I get excited by the notion that in the future we may have wild Valacars roaming the planet side, especially down here at the bottom. They say AI planetary navigation improvements were made to allow easier changes to physics, terrain, patch resolution. Although currently only available on the Valacar, this update is planned for the release in Alpha 4.6. I've said many times, like, going somewhere to fight a big worm is not exciting at all to me. But the notion of me being out in the wild and doing some mining maybe and accidentally disturbing a Valacar, being attacked by one unexpectedly, now that is exciting. So as I read through this section, it gives me hope for that future. A lot of stuff going on in the AI game intelligence development category. Not a whole lot worth mentioning other than they are talking about the StarScript UX. We've talked about StarScript at length on this channel previously, but nothing really stood out to me there. On the animation side, it looks like they're doing some more facial animation work. And of course, for the art ships category, November and December were extremely busy months. No kidding. Ship teams completing the Perseus, the Clipper, the Golem Hawks, MDC, L-22 Alpha Wolf, Salvation, all for IAE, alongside supporting the push for the first release of engineering. And engineering involved a ton of ship work, and it still does, right? That's ongoing. They got a lot of polish and refinement to bring to live for engineering still. I'm sure we are going to read more about that. And then they call out in the UK, progress also made on numerous vehicles coming later this year, including the Gaddock Railin. I know a bunch of people excited about that one, which entered production in mid-November, and the initial artist building on the pre-production work done during the white box phase. Gold standard work being done for the Aegis Hammerhead. I'm excited about that, as well as breaking out various parts into the Aegis kit for use across future ships, like they are for MISC, RSI, and Drake, right? That's the work they've done in the past to basically kitize some of these brands. They've done that for MISC, RSI, and Drake, as they mentioned. Sounds like they're doing it for Aegis now. Hopefully they do it for Origin soon. I know we got a new Origin ship coming this year. I'm pretty sure they've confirmed that. So I would love to hear news on kitizing the Origin ships. And then near and dear to my heart, as you all know, the Miscall B passed its white box review and moved into a gray box. While the Drake Ironclad and Ironclad Assault and the command module work all progress towards gray box. I'm super excited for the command module. That's gonna be so freaking cool. Every time I get on my my Caterpillar, I think about that. Just the utility of that ship is gonna go up so much once you're able to detach that command module. It has the tractor beam there. Being able to park that huge Caterpillar next to like some salvage or mining vehicles or something, and then detach and go around and use the tractor beam to load up the bays. I just think that is going to be the coolest thing ever, and the same will probably hold true for the Ironclad as well. I actually don't know. I got to look at the Ironclad again. I don't know what features the detachable pod had on that thing. I don't know if that's going to have tractor beam similar to the Caterpillar, or if the intent of the detaching there is a little different. But Grey Cat UTV continued through development. Third in the series of larger RSI ships, the Galaxy entered pre-production. I'm pretty sure everybody assumes we're going to be getting the Galaxy for the big events at the end of 2026. Did they confirm that? I forget. Now I can't remember if that was confirmed or... Oh yeah, that's right. They did confirm that in the one inside Star Citizen jet. And then we're getting 4 more currently unannounced vehicles moving through the pipeline as well. Who knows what they'll be? One of them, it says, is progressing quickly due to the availability of an existing brand kit, so we know that's either a MISC, RSI, or Drake ship. We'll see which one that ends up being that it was unannounced. It would be really cool if it was a MISC equivalent of the Clipper. I would love to see that. A generalist from MISC would be amazing. North American teams continue to work on the Kraken, Drake's capital ship. I'm freaking pumped for that. I want to know, are we going to get the Kraken or the Liberator first? Those are probably going to be the first 2 open air carriers we get in the game. It would be wild if we end up getting the Kraken before the Liberator. I'd love to know what your thoughts are, but I haven't heard of any Liberator work being started, have you? But they're sure pushing on this Kraken. Can't wait to see either of them. I've been looking forward to the Liberator for a long time. I expected the Liberator would be in the game long before the Kraken, but now I'm starting to question that. And then another 2 unannounced vehicles being worked on. First ended 2025 with a review gate in preparation for its early 2026 release. Soon, I guess? While the second moved through white box with a team focusing on its unique hero rooms. What is a hero room? Do we know what ship might have a hero room? Interesting. Okay. I have no idea what a hero room is or what that'll be used for. And jumping down to core gameplay, obviously since this included the last 2 months of 2025, there is a ton of stuff in here about engineering gameplay, which is in our hands now, along with things regarding the first kind of light version of ship armor, life support, all that kind of stuff. And then the one that, well, if you're like me, you are ecstatic about any news on crafting. Throughout November and December, the team progressed in its next major feature, crafting. I just love that they are calling that the next major feature now. I feel like I have been waiting for crafting and base building ever since I joined the project back in 3.1.7. I have been saying that these are the pillars that are going to tie everything together. It's going to bring meaning and purpose to the game. Finally, it's going to give us a reason to do all the things that we do in the game, which up until now have just been for the hell of it. So I just cannot stress enough how important and how exciting I am for these 2 features. And it makes sense that crafting is the first of them. Progressed its next major feature crafting to tech preview readiness. I am not in Evocati, but I've been talking to people who are, and it's pretty exciting. Which enabled limited round of Evocati testing conducted yesterday. There you go. The initial preview included the core loop of creating various items and adjusting their stats based on material quality. Additional recent work on the feature includes shop support for material quality and the ability to sell partially full or mixed containers. Yeah, that's got to be a huge thing. I know right now in the test builds they've been having issues with, like, you know, different quality things not stacking. It's creating like a very interesting inventory experience. So I imagine that's going to get smoothed over as they go through. I have a lot of thoughts on the adjustment of stats based on material quality. I've heard so many different opinions on this already. I have a lot of thoughts on it, but I'm gonna wait until the next video. Like I said, I want to do a video focused just on crafting, because I think there's just so much to talk about. I don't want to get into it in this video. This video, I just want to get us kind of reconnected to what's going on in the verse. Progress was also made on the main crafting UI, including the queue screen. Thank gosh they are doing queue-centric. You might think that that's a foregone conclusion, but just coming out of a game, well, I'm still playing PAX, but PAX Day has been a nightmare in that it does not use a queuing system. And I've used queuing systems and things like EVE Online, Dune Awakening. I mean, I don't know. I guess I have played games without a queuing system, like World of Warcraft comes to mind, where you actually got to stand at the bench and craft everything. Even World of Warcraft had a like a limited queuing. I guess PAX Day does too, but the fact is your character is rooted while it's doing it, and World of Warcraft was the same way. It's just insane to me. Like the queuing approach just seems so much better in every respect, and so I wouldn't have expected Star Citizen or CIG to go any other route. At this stage, the core functionality is present. The devs are preparing to review player feedback before polishing the feature ahead of its eventual release. Amazing. This is exciting times, people. Exciting times. For flight gameplay, the team continued their efforts towards improved flight model. And this has been going on for so long, including adjustments to the control surfaces. This also included exposing more options to design to allow for more control over atmospheric flight behaviors. I am very excited. I'm not like a flight model guy. Like, that's not my core concern with Star Citizen. I just expect that we will get a decent enough flight model to make this game play well. Just a kind of a baseline expectation of mine. I don't really get into the specifics of it or care too much. But I will say I'm very excited for atmospheric flight to feel vastly different from space flight. That is one thing I'm very much looking forward to. Right now, I don't feel like they feel different enough at all, so any movement towards that, thumbs up for me. And then again, the team also continued their tasks for the command module used by the Drake Caterpillar and Ironclad. The first playable version of the feature was presented, showcasing seamless handover of the controls from the host ship to the command module and vice versa. This work also allowed them to address various docking-related issues and improved the debug tools. There's got to be a lot of owners of those ships out there that are happy to hear that. Docking has not been in the best state for a long time. I know, as somebody that has a few ships that can dock, it's one reason I just don't fly them as often as I otherwise might. But yeah, super pumped for that. Even, I mean, I'm excited for the Ironclad, but even just getting that on the Caterpillar, I'm so excited about it. It's going to completely breathe new life into that ship. Finally get to experience that ship the way it was always meant to be played. Toward the end of the year, time was dedicated to addressing issues with the existing transit and freight elevator system. It's weird, the language there is weird, where they say toward the end of the year, time was dedicated. I felt like the messaging we were getting was that there was a Joker card squad dedicated to this for basically the whole year. So, I don't know, a little bit of conflicting messaging there, which were either reported by players using the issue council, player experience team, or internal QA staff. Working with the QA team, core gameplay addressed bugs with very high reproduction or issue. Okay, so they're just addressing high occurrence bugs. However, there are still many issues present that continue to be addressed. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that Joker card squad or whatever. This is making it sound like it's not as engaged as we might have believed, just based on previous communications, but I'm not sure. Could just be incorrect messaging in this document as well. Hard to say. Mission system designers have the ability to specify conditional mission completions. For instance, Alpha 4.6 includes missions that can be completed by fulfilling one objective or an alternative objective. That's cool. I think any flexibility they can give the designers on this stuff will lead to more immersive and branchy missions, which will allow the players to feel like they have more agency in how they complete them and so on and so forth. So big plus one for that. They also provide support for various new missions and content deliverables, plus improvements to the progress tracker, yada yada yada. Work continued on the inventory rework, another huge feature. Internal reviews and bug hunting sessions. The early steps were also established for capital ship refueling. It's kind of weird that those two things are just kind of in the same sentence. Oh yeah, we were doing the inventory rework and also capital ship refueling. But okay, yeah. Excited for that too. I can't wait to be able to land on Idris and get my fighter refueled. It's going to keep those fighters out in the field longer. Right now it's kind of annoying that, you know, you can have this big capital ship out there acting as a base, but the fighters keep having to go back to stations to rearm, refuel. It's going to be really cool and really promote that capital ship as a base of operations in space that everybody has been clamoring for. So very excited about that. Finally, core gameplay delivered a feature-complete version of cockpit light amplification. I have not seen this in person yet, but I've seen it on YouTube. It looks really freaking cool. I can't wait to fly with it, which enables players to better see their surroundings in low light conditions. Economy. Always a category that speaks to me. Based on community feedback, the economy team overhauled Wicolo's rewards. Most recipes now require fewer of each ingredient. I don't really care about Wicolo, but okay. Some items were redistributed into the loot pool, and the Idris and Wolf were added as rewards to the holiday period. And looks like they spent some time in December on the next station, populating it with trading zones and economic incentives. Interesting. Devs are also looking into vehicle ballistic weapons to give them the proper caliber designations and operational costs associated with their size and type. Makes sense. My only gripe here with the economy section is that it's not longer. But I would imagine that we will start to see lengthier economic updates once crafting's in the game. We'll see. Some mission design, narrative stuff, online technology. Let's take a look at this. Last month, the online services team shared an internal tech demo demonstrating what will be coming with item recovery tier 1. Oh my gosh, this cannot come into the game soon enough. With this, they were able to properly establish the priority needs of downstream teams, yada yada yada. So it sounds like they've just got their issue boards populated for the item recovery tier 1 work. I guess that puts it a little closer in our hands, but yeah, I can't wait to see some tangible stuff on item recovery tier 1. I still have that feeling of like things just aren't real right now. Ever since we moved to tier 0, the lack of danger feeling really gets to me at times. So I can't wait for that to come back. R&D in November, the R&D team's PU focus remained on optimization. Texture streaming support was added for volumetric cloud and ground fog. Cool. Performance stuff. All good news. I've been feeling it, right? Like, if I think about like the end of 2024, the end of 2025, not only did we experience a monumental leap forward in stability and that kind of thing, but definitely the game is performing leaps and bounds better than it was 12 months ago. It's just running smooth. Now, I've also got new hardware during that time. I know that's part of it. But even still, even whenever you're running on this game on the best of hardware, there was always kind of that jank. And there's still a little bit of it, but it feels like much less. I'd be curious to know if you're feeling similar. Read across voxel trees can now be made concurrently, which helps with the CPU gas cloud reads for radiation volumes. Cool. Yeah. A lot of just like kind of low level system and client optimizations going on here, which big thumbs up. Again, like I said, we are definitely feeling the benefit of those things. So I would love to see a lot more of this on every single report. That gets us through the big first report of the year. Love to know what your thoughts are on this thing. A lot of it is kind of stuff that we've already got in our hands, but it's kind of cool to recap and also see what they've just been doing since returning. Sounds like there's already a ton of vehicle work going on. We got, what, 6 unannounced vehicles in the pipeline already. Multiple that we know about in the pipeline. Obviously, they are, and I think they've confirmed this at the end of last year. Like this year, they expect just as many ships as last year, and last year was like a freaking tremendous amount of ships. So that's cool. But for me, crafting takes the show. All the crafting updates, I'm excited to hear about, and I can't wait to dig into those with you more in the next video. But for now, let's jump over and take a look at the new Inside Star Citizen.
Each year of Star Citizen brings with it a new beginning, including new content, new opportunities, and oftentimes a few new ways of doing things. It's an essential element of Star Citizen's DNA, where we don't just build the game out in front of everyone, we continue to review, refine, and redirect our efforts, as well as the very manner in which we make our games along the way. In 2025, this saw the biggest change to our development strategy yet, where new content rose to the forefront while feature work was allowed the time necessary to cook behind the scenes, where dedicated strike teams were formed to deal with the biggest issues at hand, and the patch cadence changed from once every quarter to once every month. It was an exciting year, and now into 2026, we continue our yearly evolution as we head into the upcoming Alpha 4.6. Now, instead of a patch every month or every quarter, this year we'll introduce a new bi-monthly patch cadence, which is 1 every 2 months for those of you who appreciate homonyms. No.
We're going to slow the
That
patches
means
down a
that
little
you're
bit.
going to see big releases like 4.6, 4.7, 4.8 and the like in January, March, and May, and so forth, and so forth, and so forth. And between those patches, we're going to try a new initiative that'll still deliver smaller chunks of in-game content to keep things interesting, like the recent pricing surge on commodities from last week. And in the future, new mission contracts, new loot, and even new spaceships, and all without the need for a big, mega, full patch release. It's an exciting experiment.
Interesting.
And one that we're eager to undertake as we continue our journey to 1.0 with a year of patches aiming to deliver more feature improvements like inventory rework, crafting, which, if everything works out, should be in tech preview soon or by the time this airs, instancing, Genesis planets, and more, alongside the content that we showed at CitizenCon Direct, like Rock Cracker, Tactical Strike Groups, and Municipal Works. So, with all that said, let's go ahead now and take a look at some of what Alpha 4.6 has in store for us, and not just with its intended release next week, but throughout this February and into March.
A lot of stuff this year, that's for sure. He mentioned instancing there, which reminds me, I had seen an update somewhere. I think I might have missed it when we were going through the monthly report, but somewhere they mentioned that there was work being done on the instance manager, which, in case you don't know what an instance manager might be, like, I view that as probably the bread and butter, like the backbone of the entire instancing initiative. Like that, I expect to be the thing to figure out when instances are needed, how many should be created, who's assigned to which instance. I would think that those kind of responsibilities would live in an instance manager. I don't know for sure. I can't see the code, but that would be my expectation. So progressing work on that is directly moving in the direction of enabling instancing as they described it in the last CitizenCon Direct. On top of that, the other things they're mentioning, Planet Tech V5, oh my god, I can't wait. And they did successfully do a crafting test, which we're going to get into. All very exciting stuff. The new cadence, moving away from monthly and going to bi-monthly makes a lot of sense, as I would expect they're... remember, last year they were focused entirely on content, stability, playability. In that kind of a mode, the high frequency releases made a lot of sense. I would expect this year they're going to transition away partially from that being the sole focus. Not that I assume. I mean, they've communicated this to us, right? We're going to be getting back to a lot more feature development, V5 planets, crafting, all that stuff, right? Those are huge. Not to mention the continued improvements on engineering. Those are all huge, beefy system improvements, and so backing off on the big patch cadence makes a lot of sense. I will be interested to see how they approach the incremental delivery between patches. So it sounds like they want the ability here to deliver us new ships, new missions, new events, probably new Wicklow rewards, God help us, in between these patches, so that we get more spice, or whatever you want to call it, in between the big releases. I'm going to be paying real close attention to see how they do that. Anyway, let's continue.
Up first, the local inhabitants of Levski are falling sick with a mysterious ailment called the People's Ailment, seemingly caused by the new strain of mold growing in the faulty air filters of Geisen Incorporated. Symptoms include coughing, chest pain, and fatigue. This mold is super resistant and forcing the free and independent people of Levski to reach out to the UEE for help. Now, it's up to contractors like you to race against the clock and save as many folks from fungal fatalities as possible. And, of course, pick up some rewards along the way, like this cool new medical-themed armor set, med gun, ship paints, and more. And in feature work, the first iterations of cockpit light amplification are also rolling out for select spacecraft.
Are you guys looking forward to picking mushrooms for rewards? I don't know if that's what this is going to be, but yeah. Anyway, this kind of thing is not my jam, but let's.
It's an exciting step forward in addressing one of the oldest struggles pilots have when flying or driving around the dark side of our planets and moons.
Now this
And like
is
most new
freaking
features
cool.
in Star Citizen, this will continue to evolve, improve, and expand to additional vehicles in subsequent patches.
Dude, that's amazing.
And look at all the different colors.
That
And
is
speaking
amazing.
of the oldest struggles, the Aurora, classic ship from RSI, heart of our original crowdfunding campaign, and most owned vehicle in the verse, is finally getting its gold standard pass in Alpha 4.6. Bringing it to feature and function parity with today's latest and greatest for those pilots who enjoy flying a true Star Citizen
I don't know if I knew that
classic.
was the most owned ship. That's cool.
And alongside this, we're finally delivering many of those outstanding campaign paints to go with it, like the Pirate Paint, the Operation Pitchfork Paint, the South by Southwest 2015 paint, the Electro Hull paints, and more. For 4.6, these will be delivered exclusively to those OG backers who earned them by supporting the original campaign, but may become available in limited supply later this year if there's enough interest. I suspect you can let us know on Spectrum, Reddit, and social. And in additional content stuffs, those cool holographic skull helmets we came up with so long ago are finally being delivered to our development subscribers.
These things look absurd.
I'm excited because I've been wanting to recreate that, that Skeletor meme on social with it since we first unveiled it. There should be memes here, unless we couldn't think of any. There's also offerings from everyone's favorite Banu. Look. It's the only Banu you know, technically, who has these nifty new armor and weapon variants available as well. And the debut of the upcoming RSI Hermes, which you'll see fully.
So everybody called Wicklow Crafting V1, or maybe Tier 0, whatever they called it. So once we get crafting fully in the game and it's working well, then we get rid of Wicklow. Please?
and learn more about next week.
Maybe just relegate
But as we
Wicklow.
said at the top of the show, 4.6 doesn't stop when it releases next week.
Okay, don't get rid of Wicklow. Just demote him or them to like some other non-central role in the verse.
That's because about 2 weeks after that, we'll see the unlocking of new faction-based introductory and advanced mining and salvage missions to better guide new players through the two popular professions, as well as provide additional opportunities to existing players. There's our annual Coremore event that encourages folks to spend their lives in the verse with someone special, and it arrives with a host of goodies to acquire. Red Festival returns with its super cool red and gold paints, as well as new decal or not variants for those who prefer a cleaner look to your spacecraft paints. Another limited time change to vendors like the recent pricing surge, but this time discounting vehicles sold through in-game shops.
Who's that spaceship mine?
And finally, another new ship with a familiar silhouette makes its debut weeks later in the 4.6 era. So what's it called and what's it do? Well, I'm not gonna tell. So what's it called and what's it do?
What is that? That looks like... I don't know. I'm bad at this stuff. There's going to be somebody out there that just rattles this right off, but to me that looks like the Argo mining ship. The mole, a little bit. Maybe an Argo salvage ship? That looks like a salvage hand on the front there.
Well,
how right am I? Let me know.
I'm not going to tell you.
I'm probably totally wrong.
Because I'm not sure we're getting away with that whole, what's that spaceship month thing? So come back in a few weeks to find out. Ultimately, 4.6 is the start of a new season of Star Citizen content that will continue to expand the story and gameplay of Nyx, the features and capabilities of the universe itself, and the continuing development of the project as a whole. And as far as shows like this are concerned, well, I'm happy to report that we're going back to weekly from now on.
Nice.
So whether that's ISC, SEL, BTS, or whatever a particular episode is called, we'll be back with something to share each and every week that we can. I've missed you. And one of you sent me a giant wooden hammer, which kind of feels like a threat. But I'm going to try my best. See you next week.
Amazing. Looking forward to having those back weekly. I love these things. I look forward to them. That would be interesting if that was an Argo salvage ship. People have been really wanting like that in between the smaller salvage ships and the Reclaimer for quite some time. More of a medium-large salvage vessel. That would be really cool, but I could be totally off base on there. But the silhouette showing that retracting stuff in the back, it looked like the arms of the mole to me. Could also be the RSI like Taurus series, maybe. I don't know. Let me know what you think the ship's going to be. I'm curious. Or if somebody's already figured it out on social media, I'm sure that... let me know what it is. I'm okay with spoilers, but it's cool to at least get the chance to guess. Anyway, a lot of stuff going on. There's going to be so much to talk about over the next few weeks on Star Citizen. Expect a lot more channel or Star Citizen content on this channel, that's for sure. I know there was a little bit of a lull there over the holiday break, and there wasn't a whole lot going on. I kind of took some time out of 4.5 just because of the stability issues I was running into and trying to play. I took that time to play some other stuff, but with 4.6 on the horizon and a lot of features that we have all been waiting for a very long time, coming very rapidly, along with a bunch of other stuff, you can expect to see me back in the game on a very routine basis, and I look forward to talking about Star Citizen a lot more. I miss it, so let's get back to it. We'll be back soon with an in-depth discussion on crafting. I'm putting together and collecting my thoughts on that. This is a topic I have a lot of opinions and ideas and maybe things to say about. So we'll get into that very soon. And if you are not aware, I live stream every Saturday. Usually kicking it off, I don't know, anywhere between like 2 and 4 p.m. Eastern is when I usually kick it off. And then we'll go as long as we go. So I would love to see you out there. We have a lot of fun. And the people who come out make it fun. So please, stop on by. It'd be great to spend some time live with you so we can have some more back and forth discussion like this. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are on what that mystery ship is. What are your thoughts on the first monthly report of 2026? And anything else with all the recent Star Citizen hype. Also on crafting ahead of the chat we're going to get into soon. I'd love to hear those too. Any and all of it in the comments below. Until then, take care. Grolo out.